Welcome back everybody for another Conan Exiles news update video with Steve-O. Today we will be going over some Testlive patch notes that were set in motion yesterday. And if you're not familiar with what the Testlive servers are, it's a branch on PC that all of their new fixes and new updates go to first before they push them to live. I did talk to one of the community managers today to find out a little bit of info on when we might be able to expect this for Xbox version. We're just going to get straight into these Testlive patch notes in just 1 minute. Another thing that I asked while I had their attention was if there was going to be a stream this Friday, and unfortunately there will not be a stream this Friday. It's been a few weeks since our last stream. I think the last stream was when they were on Mixer showing off the Xbox One gameplay, and we haven't had a dev stream since then, which is understandable. They had the launch and the launch didn't go as well as they had hoped, so they've been pretty busy with that. Then they had Gamescom, so it's understandable that there hasn't been a dev stream since. They've also been moving offices and so on to move to an actual designated room set up for future streams. So I don't know if that's been done yet, but there will not be a dev stream this week either. As soon as I know when there will be a dev stream, I'll tweet it out to you guys, and I'll also cover it as much as I can for you guys. That way you have all the up-to-date info on Conan Exiles. Let's get right on into these patch notes because it is pretty lengthy. So first point, this is for PC right now, but they will be coming to Xbox also, but we just don't know when. When I talked to the community managers earlier, they said that they wasn't for sure, but they think the patch has not been sent into Microsoft yet, that they are working on it and it's getting ready to be sent. The first thing on their list is the server stability. That is their #1 priority right now, because what's the point of adding in features if nobody can use them? So the first thing on their priority list is the server stability. Then we can go with the other things that'll help make our life easier while we're playing, the quality of life add-ins and stuff like that. So let's get right into breaking down these patch notes. So you will see here that community manager Nicole put these up yesterday, and I would have put this video out yesterday, but I wanted to just ask a few more questions so that I would know, so I could relay this information as accurately as I could. And as busy as they are, they just got back to me today. Here we go. In the list, performance improvements which should help for both client and server performance. There is now a place marker on the map for your corpse when you die. Thank God, we really needed this a long time ago. You can now toggle locks on containers, chests. Machines and crafting stations cannot be locked. Interact with the chest via the radio wheel to toggle the lock and unlock feature. Dragon powder and explosive jars no longer have a decay timers. Boars should no longer teleport after they charge. Oh, yeah, that's a little bit annoying when you go to attack something and during their charge attack they do an instant transmission to somewhere behind you. It's like fighting Goku. It's not going to happen. You're not going to win unless the boar gets some random heart disease. Then you might win. Moving on. Added new recipe to all tier 3 and higher thralls. Cooking thralls can now be placed at the stove. Nice. Added an option to disable auto wield. The default is off automatically, which means auto wield / sheave. If the option is turned on, sprint will not work unless your hands are empty. You can change the settings in your option menu. Fix the case where female characters were turned male and have record-breaking schlongs. I don't think I need to iterate on that at all. I think it's pretty self-explanatory there. Oh. Loading screen should no longer disappear and then reappear when loading. So I'm guessing that is when you're loading into a server. After a little bit, the loading screen sits there and it'll do a quick little flash to black, and then it'll go right back to the loading screen. I'm thinking this has to do with the ghost rating that's been happening also. So that may be the fix for ghost rating. We'll just have to wait and find out. Door / window frames will snap correctly now. haven't really noticed a problem with them, but it obviously was a problem. And for people that don't know on Xbox how to actually rotate your building pieces and other things like that, there are different ways of doing these things. On your controller, if you hit Y, it changes to different types of movements you can do with placing structures. And X will like snap it to the ground, different auto snap features, and then right trigger is like your actual movement of it. If you hold the right trigger down, it'll move it one way. If you hold the left trigger down, it'll move it another way. So if you hit Y once on, let's say, a storage box that you're trying to put up and it says not enough contact with the wheel or with the ground, all you have to do is hit Y and pull your triggers to see which movement you have selected. Right now there's not anything in place that I'm currently aware of that lets you know what kind of movement option you're on, so it's a little bit of guesswork and just trial and error on moving things up and down and so on. If you do have a chest out and you hit Y and pull your right trigger or left trigger, once you get to the certain option, if you do have like a message on your screen with a red X that says not enough ground contact, if you hit Y and pull those triggers one way or another, once you get to the right setting, you'll see the chest start raise and lower while you're pulling these triggers. And there's different mechanics that you can switch to by hitting the Y button. Some things, like with candles and other things, you can actually rotate them horizontally to a different angle. Like if you're building on the side of a hill, you want to put up a wheel of paint and you're putting it on the side of the hill for some reason. Of course, when you first pull it out, it defaults to a perfectly straight horizontal placement, but if you select the right placement option with Y, you can change that where you can rotate the horizontal hue of it. Alright, that may have been too much of an explanation on all of that, but I hope you guys get something out of it. Moving on, you can now use an item while it is in a container. For example, you can eat directly from a campfire without first moving it to a container. Yes, that's going to be nice. Performance. We've adjusted how different variables and data get checked on both client and server, which should improve performance. Many creatures, 3D models, etc. have been optimized. This should improve performance both on PC and Xbox. Temperature system. Here we go. I think you guys are going to like a bunch of these. I didn't find anything negative on these changes. On the temperature system, the temperature change will now be more gradual and change slower, instead of just instantly getting from going heat 1, 2, 3 heat stroke right away. It's going to be more slower gradual change than as fast as it is right now. Drinking from water skins and water-filled flasks will reduce your heat. That's nice, really nice. Going into water will now lower your temperature. Should have been like that already, but hey, it's early access. They're optimizing as they go. Good job, guys. You can now eat ice to cool down. Another good one. Here's one that everybody needs to take a little bit of note on. They will be changing the wording on your temperatures. So the overheating 1, 2, and 3 and the freezing 1, 2, and 3 won't be there anymore. They will be changed to other more subtle names. Stages of temperatures have been renamed from overheating and freezing to more understandable connotations such as cold, very cold, and extremely cold, and it would apply to the opposite side, hot, very hot, and extremely hot. Now this next section I think a lot of you guys are going to really like. It's the quality of life improvements, and there's one that any console player is going to love here in a second. Projectiles such as arrows can now be picked up from where they hit after firing. Nice. Right here it is. Here's the kicker, guys. Open doors and gates now close automatically. Thank you, guys. This is a blessing. No more of me having to worry and spend 30 minutes every time I go to log off making sure all my doors have been closed. Open doors and gates will now automatically close 30 seconds by default. So you don't have to worry about it anymore. They'll automatically close 30 seconds after they've been opened. And I'm really hoping this is going to be on official servers, but it says this can be disabled on servers. I don't know exactly if that's meaning private servers. I'm thinking that's what it means, but I'm hoping the official servers will have this automatically enabled. Cost for crafting hammers and pillars has been adjusted. Crafting timers have been reduced. Nice, thank God. Armor Thralls now provide Shemite, Stygian, Zamorian dancer outfits. Thirst meters will now automatically fill to full without interaction when you are in water. So any of you Ark players in here, you'll know what this is. If you're not an Ark player, what this is right now, currently, when you walk up to water, or even when you're in water, you have to hit X or E on your keyboard to actually take the water in to fill your thirst meter back up or your water skin. Once this is implemented, which it's already implemented on Testlive, but once it hits the live servers on PC and we get the patch to Xbox, you will no longer have to interact with the water when you're in it. Now water skins, I think you'll still have to interact with it while you're in water, but your thirst meter will automatically fill by just simply getting in water. Shellfish traps can now be placed in shallow water. Light sources now give off more light. Thank God, because it is true dark. Even the Traveler's light cannot brighten up Conan Exile's nighttime. And there's a repeat of open doors and gates. PvP death notifications will show if you were killed when you're offline. And another repeat with door and window frame. Skipping that. Host nameplate will now show on single player / co-op server. I don't understand the importance if you're in a single player. I understand co-op, maybe needing to know people's name, but I don't see where it would be an issue in single player. If you don't know your own name, you may need a little bit of help. Just saying. Just saying. Crafted items that are not usable alone are now placed automatically into the inventory instead of hotbar. Thank God, no more useless hide and fiber taking up my radial wheel spots or my hotbar spots. Being killed from a debuff by another player, like poison from arrows, should now show the name of the killer, because right now the way it's set up, if you're killed by another person and they're using something like arrows or poison on dagger or poison from a scorpion, usually when you spawn back it says you killed yourself. A little bitty thing. I'm guessing this more toward the PvP side, that way you know who to go after. Gameplay improvements and bug fixes. Love reading these, and I know you guys love equally hearing my voice. Projectiles such as arrows can now be picked up. Another repeat. You can now toggle locks on containers. Another repeat. You must know Star Metal and Hardened Steel feats before learning Black Ice recipes, Silent Legion recipes, and the King Beneath Pole Arm recipes. To be honest, I haven't got that far to really know any of that. Thanks for letting me know that I'm going to have to know Star Metal and Hardened Steel feats before learning Black Ice recipes from now on. Runestones without lore no longer open an empty window. Dagger damage and penetration have been adjusted, and if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you because it is a little bit of an exploit for PvP, so I'm not going to tell you what that means. Just know that it is something that has been fixed. Dragon powder and explosive jars no longer have decay timers. Wall braziers can now be destroyed. Adjusted penetration from hardened steel spears. Cost for crafting hammers and pillars has been adjusted. Boars should no longer teleport after they charge. Another repeat. Giant King now correctly takes damage. Like I said, I haven't really stayed up north. I've got a base up there, but I don't go up there because it seems to crash way more in the north on Xbox. I only go up there to refresh my timers, and that's it until I see some more patches implemented. I mean, I like the Frozen North, I just don't like the crashing right now. The chest in the Abandoned Keep, which is one of the new dungeons in the Frozen North, will not give duplicate keys if you already own one. NPCs should no longer spawn on the ancient archway when they should be at the camp below. You are no longer spammed with notifications when exiting / entering the Black Keep. All tier 3 carpenters will add new recipes. Cooking thralls will be placed at stove. Dragon and dragon hatchling collision has been improved. I haven't even took my chances with a dragon yet. Arcos the Wanderer no longer teaches you the wave emote since you already know it. Get with the times, Arcos. Recipe for exceptional Star Metal hammer can now be attained. Haven't even got the Star Metal stuff yet. Enemies now use their attacks properly and do not teleport at the end of their attack. XP from explosive jars has been adjusted. It doesn't say if it's been adjusted up or down. The dryer will now have visual feedback when food is placed in it. I've been wondering about that. I actually have not used the dryer yet. Weight for hard steel armor from the Silent Legion armor set have been reduced. I hear that's really heavy armor set. Black ice is now a required ingredient in repairs for black ice recipes. Wow, you would have thought it would have already been a requirement, but I guess not. Cooking thralls provide recipes unique to them. Nice. Discovery XP is now calculated correctly. Oh no, don't mess with my Discovery XP. No. Please tell me you didn't lower it. Spruced up certain areas with collision issues from buildings and rocks. Filled in some holes in the ground you can get stuck in, and lower things that should not be floating. Nice. I've noticed over by our base in the desert, next to Set City, as a lot of people like to call it, there's floating rocks. I mean, somebody with OCD that I've only went through a few dozen brown paper bags. Added an option to disable auto wield or repeat, so I'm not going to cover it. You should no longer lose save character creation settings on login. I think that's something that's been around since first patch, or maybe even day one launch. Maybe not as bad now since the first few patches. Fixed the case where female characters, this is a repeat but it's funny. Fixed the case where female characters would turn male and have a record-breaking schlong. Guess what, all you female characters, you will no longer turn male and have a record-breaking schlong. Lore tablets look prettier. Thank you! Yes, that just made the game. That's all I cared about out of all these notes. My lore tablets now look prettier. Performance improvements which should help both client and server. That's a repeat. Loading screen, repeat. Komodo jaws will no longer clip through the head when they die. Thrall specialty recipes now appear in recipe slots instead of thrall spots. You can now use an item while it's in a container. Shortcut bar labels should now update correctly with key bindings, more of a PC thing and not Xbox. And then another repeat with the place marker for when you die. Stack size of trophies have been increased. Thank God, I have chest upon chest with trophy heads in them because they're only single stack. All creatures should now have properly working specular maps again. Not really sure what this means. I'm hoping it is the derpiness of how the animations are with the animals. If you've noticed, like the rhino just sits there and spins in circles when it's walking when you're looking at it from a distance. A lot of things really have like a box animation to it. I'm hoping that that's what this is applying to. And that takes care of the patch notes that came out yesterday that will eventually make it to Xbox also, guys, so hang in there. I did talk to the community managers today and they said that they weren't for sure, but they would assume that all of these would be poured into one patch for us also, since certification takes so long. They would want to put it in one patch, that way they could get it to us sooner. But that they weren't for sure, that they really didn't get to decide on what went in to Microsoft, or what went into each match, or what went into each patch that goes to certification. So the next thing I want to touch on in this news update video, if you guys are having any problems with thralls or NPCs or animals, nothing respawning on your map, right now the best thing to have done is to get your server rebooted. To get your server rebooted, these awesome people at Gportal have set up Twitters for this. All you have to do is, this is the one that I use, but there are a couple of them for different languages, but this is the one I use. You go to these people and just comment that you have no NPC spawning, and you tell them your server number, and you guys will get a reboot and everything will start loading in correctly again. And these guys are amazing. They're phenomenal. They do not waste time. They respond almost instantly. But remember, these are people. They're not going to be able to respond instantly. That maybe I used that a little bit too loosely, but it is very, very soon to when you put up a message. This is the best way to get NPCs and everything spawning back in right now until we get a patch to fix it. Just ask for your server to be restarted or rebooted in a nice manner and they will do it. But with all that said, that is all I've got on the news update front of everything right now. As soon as I know when a patch goes into certification or any other news, I will put another video out. I will retweet so you guys that follow me on Twitter will know. And I just want to thank you guys for your continued support. You guys are just nailing everything that I put out. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't think that, you know, what I've accomplished so far would be a lot, but I think it's a lot. It's a lot to me. And I just want to thank you guys for all your continued support and just keep being awesome. I am the great Steve-O, and I will see you guys in the next video.